So this quick video is for demonstration purposes only. This is the screen will appear when you click on programs, and it'll show you all of the separate funding opportunities that you can apply for. If you click in through local area, if you currently have an active application, it'll say see my application, or if you've an application already submitted. If not, only the apply button will appear there. So you can put the name of your organization in this box. When you get through to the actual application, you'll see an instructions, which is really guidance on the process here, and that can be referred back to at any point. We will start with section 1, which is really information about your organization. In many cases, this might give you an autofill option depending on what computer you're using and what settings you've kind of selected. If that's the case and you select it, please make sure that the information is accurate and filled out. Like, for example, it hasn't autofilled my email address or contact numbers. If it doesn't autofill, obviously you just complete it as normal. If you have any communication needs, then please tell us here. If not, just not applicable. Youth membership is at the point of application, not in your registration, and that may differ. So if that's the case, you can update it here. If it's a joint application and you select yes, you need to submit letters of support for each named partner organization, and you can name up to 10. That will give you obviously how many lines you select, and you give us their name if they're registered with us and their contact information. But the purposes of this, I will select no and continue. If you have a government funding database unique reference number, please give us it here. And if you don't, you will be asked to upload your constitution or your government document in whatever way it applies. If your child protection policy has been revised, you will be asked to upload a copy of the revised policy later in the application process. And likewise with young people aged 18 to 25, if you select yes, you will be asked to upload an adults at risk of harm policy. Organizational tenure will change significantly depending on your selection. So either way, you need to upload proof of tenure. But if you selected its least accommodation, then you'll see these additional questions appear. So firstly, that it's in place at the point of application. So don't make an application now and say that you have a lease agreement in place and then wait to find out if you've got the funding and then try to source a venue, because then it's not in place at the point of application. Make sure that it covers the funding period. So if you currently have a lease agreement for example, 12 months, and this is a 3-year funding period, that needs to cover the 3 years. And thirdly, that it's suitable for youth work delivery. Policies, you select whichever is relevant to your organization. You can list additional policies up to 10, and it will obviously give you space to do that, or you can select no additional policies. In terms of bank account information, if it hasn't changed from you last received EA funding, just select the fact that it hasn't changed. But if you're creating a new bank account for the purpose of EA funding, make sure that the account name is the same as the organization name on your registration form. And then we can mark that section complete. Over here, you'll see the green box with the tick. If that's a kind of like a green semicircle, then you've left something blank, or it's saved in draft, it hasn't been completed, and we'll move on to stage 2. This funding information is all taken from the funding opportunity that you're going to apply for. So for example, I'm applying for core provision in the 123 area. It's a hypothetical situation. And it's in North Belfast, for example. In terms of delivering on assessed need, please refer to the criteria. The criteria is published and on the website, and you will find that a response to meet the requirements needs to meet the 3 criteria listed here. And you obviously fill that out as your actual answer. I'm not going to, because it might be seen as a model response, and this is purely for demonstration purposes only. And the same for the proven track record question. Please note you're limited to 500 words in both of those responses. You can mark that complete, and again the green circle with the white tick, so it is complete. If you want to amend or change this or reset, so reset will wipe this section of your application. Edit will allow you to change sections of it, and you can do that for each section as you go. The submission of your delivery plan, you will see the template provided will take you to the website, application submission templates, and here's where you'll find the delivery plan. and the budget template. I will go back here, and this will only attach in the format that it's issued. So let me attach that file. Before you hit mark complete, just you can preview that document and just make sure that it's the correct document that you intend to upload. This is the only section you don't need to fill out. The kind of right hand side of that Excel, the green section, it's locked, and that will be completed as a monitoring exercise to replace the monitoring rounds as currently you upload your target monitor. So this will become your target monitor after discuss the conditional offer if successful. Mark as complete. This section, you don't actually need to do anything here other than upload the funding opportunity as it was advertised. You don't need to amend it or add to it. You just make sure that it's the correct opportunity that you're hoping to apply for. And this is very hypothetical, obviously. So just make sure that the title and the reference is what you're intending to apply for. And mark as complete. Section 5 is the budget. So you'll see the funding period is what it's asked for, and that's stated in the front of your funding opportunity. In this case, it is 36 months. The start date, you'll see this is a kind of double digit response. So if you have any errors in there, make sure it's in that format that you're putting the date in. The writing guidance is provided here. I'll skip on through that just for this. And these are just very hypothetical figures. I'll just do the same, just to get through this. Obviously, if that increases, you obviously increase accordingly, but make sure that these figures match your budget profile, which you will do as an Excel document and upload in the next section. So here it will show you the total cost. Just make sure that these figures per year marry with what you have in your budget profile. In this case, they're not going to, because this is purely for demonstration. And that is complete. And the next section, as I said, was to upload your actual budget profile. And again, that needs to be in the format. See, it's provided here. I'll just highlight that for you, but it's in the same section where I'd showed you previously. And I will upload a very hypothetical budget profile sheet. And again, just preview that to make sure. I know quite often we'll have different versions of these, so just to make sure that that's the correct format. When you preview it in this, it will look different to how it looked in your Excel sheet, because it's just an narrower screen, but the content will still be there if you scroll down. Just remember that the costs can be apportioned in here. For example, if your oil bill is £7,000 and you provide other provisions within your building and you apportion that cost to other funders, then you can apportion it here as well. Just remember that is an option here when you're submitting your budget profile. And yeah, so you'll see, make sure that that figure down here for the first year cost marries with what was in your budget breakdown. And you can close that and mark complete. Section 7 is the declaration. And I'm not going to read all this out for you. I want to make this video fairly quick. But when you get to the declaration, it's just to type in your name, your role within the organization, and sign. And this is, I think, a test for all of us to do a digital signature on screen, and mark that as complete. So you'll see that we've completed all 7 sections. They're all ticked. If you want to go back to any of them, if you wanted to go back to your assessment questions, for example, Here for question delivered on assessed need, and you wanted to make an amendment there in the 3 boxes, just edit, and then that will allow you to go in and make any changes you want, and then make sure you mark it complete when you're done. And again, the green ticks are there for all, and go ahead and press this green submit button. We would advise everybody to review this and maybe show somebody else in your organization, whether it's a colleague or somebody in your management committee, your proposed responses. Double check it for accuracy in terms of organizational information. When it gets to the criteria-based responses down here, give them a copy of the published assessment criteria and ask them to score it internally, give you advice. You can always go back and edit until you hit this button up here, submit your application. If you've read that, then you're happy with everything that's the delivery plan as you intended. That is the funding opportunity is correct. Your funding, your budget information, your budget sheet, and if you're happy with that and it's obviously signed and the declaration is complete, you can go ahead and submit your application. Once you press submit here, you will get an automated email that basically says your application is submitted. And if you go to my applications, you'll see if you've submitted multiple applications, they will all be there. And if you want to submit more applications, you just go back to programs, back through whichever if it's another local area application you wish to make, it's just the same process and start a new application. Good luck.